Greetings, this way.
Understood. What do you need me to do?
We need to remove the bodies of the traitors.
There's quite a lot of them. What if I told you that the ancient gods of Skyrim once walked among men? Not as spirits, not as statues, but as massive, fire-breathing beasts with minds, power and divine authority. And for centuries people obeyed them, worshipped them, feared them and gave them everything, even their blood. This is the story of the Dragon Cult, one of the darkest and most mysterious chapters in the Elder Scrolls universe, and it all started over 4,500 years ago. If that already gave you chills, don't scroll, you're about to see Skyrim as you've never seen it before. Enjoy watching. Long before the First Era, before the Empire, before even the word Skyrim meant a kingdom, there was it more. A frozen, distant land across the sea, and from that land came the first humans to set foot in Skyrim. The ancestors of the Nords, led by a legendary warrior named Isgrimor. They brought with them more than just weapons or survival skills. They brought faith, a faith built around totemic spirits, sacred animals who represented the divine, the hag, the bear, the whale, the wolf, and above all, the dragon. At first, this dragon was just a symbol, a myth. But they changed when they met real ones. Massive, terrifying creatures who ruled the skies. Creatures so powerful, so ancient that even the bravest Nord would kneel in awe. And the dragons? Oh, they welcomed the worship. To them, it was natural. They believed they were children of Akatosh, born to rule, and to mortals, they offered protection in exchange for total obedience. That's how it began. Not as tyranny, but as reverence, and so the cult was born. As more dragons appeared, so did their influence. Villages turned into temples, families became followers, and fear became faith. The Dragon Cult quickly grew into something much bigger, an organized theocracy, ruled by dragons and their chosen ones, the Dragon Priests. These were no ordinary priests. They were mortals who had proven their loyalty, and in return received gifts no man should ever hold. Forbidden knowledge, dark magic, the power of the voice, the Thu'um, a shout that could burn, freeze or kill. The dragons trusted them, because these priests didn't just obey, they submitted. Legends say, only the priests were allowed to speak the sacred names of dragons. For common people, even say the word dragon was considered taboo, too holy, too dangerous. And so, the world changed. Massive shrines were built across Skyrim, huge stone temples with carvings, altars and tombs. Structures so grand, many still stand today, haunted, forgotten, but still whispering the names of the gods they once honored. Inside those ruins, the priests remain, not alive, not truly dead either, preserved by dark rituals, guarding their secrets, waiting for those brave or foolish enough to disrupt them. At the peak of their power, the dragons didn't just rule the skies, they ruled everything. Skyrim became the theocracy, with dragons at the top, and their priests just beneath them. No kings, no councils, only the will of the gods. Priests acted as governors, judges, even executioners. They set the laws, and those laws, they came straight from the mouth of dragons. Refuse a priest's command, and you weren't just defying a man, you were defying a god. And that could be fire from the sky. To survive, people obeyed. They gave offerings, food, tools, gold, and later, blood. As the cult expanded, the cost grew higher. The priests demanded more. Bigger temples, more tribute, and even human sacrifices to keep the dragon satisfied. The worst part, people accepted. For generations, this brutal system kept the peace. Villages that obeyed were left alone. Those who resisted burned, and yet there was unity. Fear united the clans. The old rivalries between Nordic tribes faded, replaced by one shared belief: dragons are gods, and gods must be served. The cult even had a capital, a place called Bromjunar. You might know it by another name, Labyrinthian. The priests gathered there for council. It was their whole city, and it still exists, in ruins deep within Skyrim. But power always corrupts, and soon even the gods weren't enough. The priests wanted more control, more fear, and something darker, immortality. They began performing rituals, draining life from their own servants to keep themselves alive. Some say they lived for centuries without aging. Others claim they fed off souls, maybe both. Their bodies decayed, but their spirits clung to the flesh, suspended between life and death, a cursed existence, but one they chose. These weren't just priests anymore, they were Lich Kings in all but name, and their tombs sealed with stone magic and the blood of dozens of followers. Even death, they ruled. Each night, the Draugr, their cursed servants, gathered around the tomb and offered silvers of their soul, keeping the priests undead. That's why today when you enter those ancient crypts, you don't just face traps or skeletons, you face something far worse, a dragon priest who never truly died. Before we move on, just a quick note. This video took me over 200 hours to create, but it started long before that. I first had to learn how to use the creation kit from scratch. Once I figured it out, I rebuilt ancient Skyrim piece by piece. All the scenes, all the villages, all the priests, NPCs, I crafted them that bring this story to life. If you enjoyed what you've seen so far and want to help me keep making videos like this, please consider support me on Ko-Fi. The link is in the description. And while you are at it, drop a like and share this with a fellow lore lover. Thanks for being here. And now, let's talk about rebellion. For generations, the people obeyed out of fear, out of habit. But fear has a limit, and one day they reached it. The tribute was too much, the blood too frequent, and the dragons no longer seen as gods, but as tyrants. So, the people rose. Not with magic, not at first, just steel, shields, and fury. Thousands died in the first battles, scorched by fire, crushed by claws, torn by the voice. It should have been a massacre. But then, something changed. A few dragons turned traitors. They saw what their kind had become. Monsters. One dragon in particular, Pethunax, betrayed his brothers. He taught the humans that Thu'um, the very magic dragons used to dominate. The voice became their weapon, and for the first time in history, men shouted back. That moment changed everything. The war raged for years. Temples fell, priests were hunted, dragons were slain, one by one, and the cult destroyed. The Dragon Cult wasn't just a religion, it was an empire. A nightmare, a legacy carved into stone and fire, and even after 4,500 years it still watched us, from every ruin, every tomb, every masked priest waiting in the dark. If this story fascinated you, I need you on this channel. Hit subscribe because there is more history hidden in the shadows. Drop a comment, share the video, and remember, dragons may sleep, but their legends never die. See you in the next video, and... right. Bye.